bronze in this particular tournament, and it's actually good to see that from University of Port Harcourt. So I was hugely impressed that the University of Port Harcourt once again showing that they have one of the best athletes when it comes to universities.
Well, University of Port Harcourt making hay at the 26th edition of the Nigerian University Games, probably called Nuga Games, and by our matter, hopefully he's winning our very first gold medal at the Nuga Games.
Well, it's quite unfortunate. After having a beautiful outing, their attire was one of the most beautiful in the Nuga Games, and this is the only time they're getting a medal. This time, a woman in the discus. It's quite unfortunate that a team from River State, while others are shining and glowing, River State University is just having one medal in just discus, and it's a woman that has gotten that one for them.
The woman getting the medal for the River State University, Glory Tochukwu, yesterday won the institution's first gold medal at the ongoing university games, and it is, of course, in the women's category of discus. Well, Okechukwu, the university games a veritable ground for discovering talent. We've seen other editions produce some talents that went ahead to represent Nigeria. You think the sports authorities are eagle-eyed enough? Are they on ground at the University of Lagos to see whether they can discover more talents from these games?
Of course they should. Why I say they should, everybody knows what Enuga has done for Nigerian sports in the past. Somebody like Sheyi Olofinjano, who today is the director of football in the Grasshopper Zurich. Vincent Enyama, also a product of the Nuga Games, Olusoji Fasuba, and so many of them. So if we don't key into this, then there's nothing for us to take home about the odds. They should be there.
Sport authorities definitely should be on ground at the University of Lagos. We have 36 Nigerian universities in Lagos trying to scout for medals. I'm very sure talents are bound out there amongst these university students. Remember the case of Ajoki Amesimeka and Co, who represented the country right from the university. So I'm very sure there'll be more of the Ajoki Amesimekas, more of the badders across these events going on in the University of Lagos. In the days ahead, we'll keep our eyes on it, and of course do return back with exciting developments coming from the National University Games that is in its 36th edition. And from the National University Games now, we'll move over to wrestling, where the Commonwealth and African multiple medals wrestling champion Odunayo Adekoroye has moved past her disappointing outing at the Tokyo Olympic Games, because in this instance in Canada she won gold at the Alberta Opening Wrestling Championship. This is one athlete that had made Nigeria proud, former #1 in the 55 kg women freestyle category, where she won. This is interesting that, yes, she may have not have gotten the medal she wanted at the Olympics, but at this wrestling championship in Canada, she's making Nigeria proud with a gold medal.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing about Odunayo Adegoroye at this point is that she's in school in Canada, so she's exposed to better training facilities, and winning gold medal in the World Wrestling Championship in Alberta, Canada, it's a very positive development for her. I strongly believe that the Wrestling Federation also has a former world champion, an Olympic champion in the person of Daniel Igali. He's done so much for wrestling in Nigeria. He has tried to position Nigeria and put Nigeria in the world map of wrestling. Initially wrestling used to be our stronghold when it comes to sports, but somewhere along the line we lost it. But with the coming of Igali into the Wrestling Federation, I think he's beginning to dot the I's and cross the T's.
Igali, the Nigerian Wrestling Federation chairman, of course, doing his very best to turn out. We had our first medal from wrestling at the Olympics, and yet another Olympian is doing Nigeria proud in the university, at the World Championship in Alberta, Canada. We have been told she schools there, so she's exposed to the facilities. We need these facilities here because we have some more wrestlers. And of course, we are told earlier that Igali is using his own personal facilities. High time the government is into production, or in provision of facilities. I don't know what you think, but there should be functional facilities across the country aimed at using it to attract these raw talents in the wrestling.
Well, you've seen what his own personal facilities have been able to produce, making wrestling in Nigeria most talked about in the world, even in Africa, and producing good stars. Imagine what will happen if the government decides to invest in it, bring more facilities. Of course, we are going to harness raw talent. The only thing is that sometimes the government seems to just look aside, and I don't know what their problem is. When we have a federation that is in charge, it should be their responsibility, because sport is one way you can actually get someone off the street. And why do we have the Ministry of Youth and Sport if it's not important? I think the government should get involved and definitely we're going to harness more talents.
More talents are bound in wrestling. All we need to do is organize championship. But before you get at the championship, there has to be facilities that these wrestlers will have to use during training sessions, and of course get it better. For Odunayo, was a student of the University of Saskatchewan in Canada, doing her best. She defeated 4 wrestlers in the 62 kg weight category to bag gold at the annual event in Alberta, that's in Canada. Congratulations to Odunayo in that instance. And time for us to go to tennis now. And Kelechi is one area where he has his fort. Kelechi, the tennis war yesterday was turned to the information that Ashley Barty had to retire at the age of 25. Were you surprised as well?
Well, I wouldn't say I was really surprised. I would use the word I was really stunned. I mean, this is someone that we all love to watch. This is someone who has actually dominated the Women Tennis Association for a couple of time now. And, for her to come out and say that she's done with tennis is actually disappointing for us who love to watch Ashley Barty play, us who love to watch tennis, because, she's someone who was actually, showed us that you can actually be a winner because of the way she takes tennis seriously. And I know that it's not the first time she's actually come out to say that she's taking a break from tennis, but this time around it's going to be a permanent one. Reasons best known to her. I wonder what path she's going to take right now. But sometimes I've seen her, go into golf or maybe swimming or fishing or one of those, hobbies that she usually does when she takes a break from tennis. But this time around, it's going to be sad that I will not be, watching Ashley Barty play at the moment. And he's actually also going to work in the favor of Swiatek, who surprisingly climbing to world number 2, and as of the 28th of March, definitely going to be world number 1 now following the retirement of Ashley Barty. And it just tells you that tennis can actually be surprising. And from this news, it's really disappointing for us to see Ashley Barty stop playing tennis at that age of 25.
Yes, talking about this, it's not the first time. We know that she had retired before. She came back after 2 years, and of course became number 1. She's been world number 1. For a very long period. She's won on the 3 surfaces. She's won at the Australian Open recently, where she made the whole of Australia proud, being the first in 44 years to win at home, the first Australian to win in 44 years. And of course, she's won at the Wimbledon as well, if you remember. She's been a winner at the French court, that was in 2019. So she's someone who is very versatile. And like we mentioned, she retired the first time, she retired the second time. And from what she's saying in this instant, that she is completely spent. It means that she may just not come back anymore to tennis. And the other sports that will gain her will be cricket. Sometime last year, we saw her, when she retired last time, she went into cricket. And of course, she didn't do badly. So it looks like from tennis, she's going to cricket.
Well, it looks like maybe she's going to try another path because, like you said, from her interview, she said she's well spent now. She doesn't have anything to offer physically. I think she's done when it comes to what she can offer in tennis anymore. And I'm not sure she has that physical energy anymore because she's someone who likes to play, with a whole lot of aggressiveness in her tennis. And maybe she can try other parts. In life, many people are really, really talented, multi-talented. It could be that she could actually try another sport. Maybe cricket could also favor her. No, she can actually be an incredible player in cricket and also take the cricket by storm. But at the same time, it's really, really sad that we're going to see someone as talented as Ashley Barty, because I believe that if Ashley Barty had continued playing tennis, we would have seen, even better from her. Maybe she could actually, win more Grand Slams to her name. Right now, she had 3 Grand Slams, and maybe there would have been more added, but maybe she could try something else, and hopefully she can succeed in other sports as well.
Ashley Barty retirement from international sports, especially tennis, is looking very good. Do I say a lot of people think it's very early, but what can we say? She's been world number 1 for over 114 consecutive weeks, and that's look like making her the very fourth to stay that long on the way. And looking at her career, Kelechi, she actually won 305 games and lost 102 during her career in the singles. Do you think we'll still have a tennis player that can win that many number of matches in tennis?
Well, there are a couple of impressive talents right now that we can see in the Women's Tennis Association. The world number one who's going to be confirmed next week, Iga Swiatek, can actually, hit that number. We've seen the way she's improved lately with a back-to-back Masters title. The likes of Rybakina, they've got Kasatkina. These are young talents. Even the Imara Raducanu that stunned us last year by winning the U.S. Open. Also, these are talents that you can see that if they step up and if they are ready to play tennis like Ashley Barty has done, these are players that you can see that can actually go on a run and even be one of the greats like Serena Williams and co. But Ashley Barty has actually done something incredible to be world number one, to maintain it for players that I believe they had potential to topple Ashley Barty and even break more records when it comes to the Women's Tennis Association.
Well, stay in there, Kelechi. Let me get to Baine, who's here. Baine, you've been following this development since yesterday when it did broke that Barty will be away from tennis. A lot of tennis stars across the world are paying tribute to her. We know of Andy Murray, and of course
sharing their experience encouraged her father, and her mom was one time into the golf business, and the sisters are good when it comes to cricket. And so if she decides to pick any of these sports, I think it's in the family. And of course, what we had, her engagement in last year, that's November 15th, with also a superstar, a golf player that she wants to get married to. Maybe that's what she'll be considering. But nevertheless, superstars in the world are paying tribute to her. And I must say that it is indeed surprising, but she has chosen her path, and let's learn to respect that.
15 career single titles for Ashley Barty, world number one, retiring from the sport at the age of 25, pretty very young. He retired, but he came back. Knows her plans of coming back, maybe a third time or not.
Well, for now, I can't sit here and say she's coming back or she's not coming back. But the only thing that's permanent in life is change. Never can tell. She might decide to throw some element of surprise. She's always full of surprises. Having retired like 8 years ago or thereabout, coming back again the second time. Who knows if she will want to do it a third time?
Well, we don't know whether she would like to do a third time, but she still have age on her side to return back to tennis if she choose to return back to tennis. And for us here, we'll take a break. When we return from the break, we'll return back to tennis as well, because the Miami Open is here with us, and I'm very sure that Clifford Kelechi has been following the Miami Open because it is a 1,000-point event. Stay with us. When we return, we'll get the thoughts of Kelechi on the Miami Open. Extraordinary here on Atlantic Television Network, and I have with me Kelechi and of course Edemko, not forgetting Adana Baine. Together we'll bring you stories training from the world of sports from the incisive and analytical point of view. Let's go to Florida now, where Miami Open is the biggest sporting event going on in the city in the United States of America. Kelechi, this is the second 1,000 points event taking place in the world of tennis. How excited and what are the big names that are there in Miami?
Once again, we're excited to have another Masters tournament, taking place both for the men and the women. There's so many big names that are going to be taking part in this particular one. The qualification stage is done right now, and so it's time for the main event to start taking place. Right now, you've got Naomi Osaka, someone who has actually gone down when it comes to, or actually been below par. Lately, she's actually playing right now, and she's also leading in that particular one against Sharma. And also for the men, you've got so many interesting players who have taken part in this one. And Rublev is going to be here. You've got also upcoming potential players who will also be going to take part, Brandon Nakashima and the rest of them. So it's actually going to be interesting both for the men and for the women. And hopefully, it to live up to expectations, just like the Indian Wells did last week.
Indian Wells last week, of course. Do we have the champions of Indian Wells, Iga Swiatek and Taylor Fritz, in this Miami Open? Because some people think that they should be taking care of their 1.2 million US dollars which they gained from the Indian Wells.
Definitely, we're going to be having Iga Swiatek because she'll be looking to break the record of Serena Williams, or equal that record for someone who won 3 straight Masters titles. So she'll definitely be eyeing that one. Looking forward to seeing how she actually, perform. It's not going to be easy for someone who, just won a particular tournament to actually continue that impressive winning run. And so there's a whole lot of expectations for Iga
to it. But meanwhile, in the first match at the main draw, we saw British hopeful Hida Wassin beat Arantxa Rus from the Netherlands in a very interesting fixture because it went as far as 3 hours 25 minutes, 6-7, 7-5, 6-4. Were you expecting Hida Wassin? The British, they like to blow hot and cold, and by the time you know it, they fizzle out. Do you think Hida Wassin can go far in this edition of the Miami Open?
So someone like Hida Watson, she's someone who has not been consistent, especially in the last couple of months. She's not, like you said, blows hot and cold. And to get that result against Arantxa Rus was actually surprising for me. Rus is actually more of a more consistent player. And for them to play that long, we just went down to who actually was a bit lucky, because I felt that if I were to, pick a winner in that one, it's going to definitely be Rus. So I was really surprised by the result. And hopefully Hida Watson can hit the ground running right now. It's going to actually be good for her confidence to beat someone like Arantxa Rus in this tournament. And hopefully maybe the next round she can actually, get someone who's going to be easy to get past, and maybe not a tough opponent that's going to actually knock her out and put her back in a position where she's not really been, the best tennis player lately.
Well, she's not been to the main draw in the last 6 years. I think the last time she was in the main draw, I think she was in the quarterfinal. And thereafter, she's not been to the main draw. She's always lost. And this time around, she's managed to win her very first game at the main draw. And you talked about who she meets next. It has to be Elina Svitolina. Elina, do you think she can survive this Ukrainian?
I'm already laughing because, it's almost like I know the outcome already. I mean, Svitolina having a disappointing tournament in the Indian Wells, getting eliminated so early. We definitely want to, get that past her mindset and, do well and start this particular tournament very well. So I really don't see any chance for her against the Ukrainian. Svitolina is more of like a complete player. She's someone who's actually focused. I see her as one of the top 10 players, one of the best tennis players for female right now. And she'll definitely be looking at, getting past this particular stage of the competition as quickly as possible. So Hida Watson, I'm really not sure how she can, cope with the fact that she played for 3 hours yesterday and coming against, a more fit and more prepared Svitolina is going to be definitely difficult for her. I don't really see any chance against Svitolina in this one.
Well, talking about the British hope at the Miami Open, we have another returnee after 6 years, and that's in Andy Murray. Has never been to the Miami Open in 6 years. He's returned back, and he seems to have an exciting opponent. Federico De Bonis is his opponent. Do you think he can go past this exciting young tennis player?
For Andy Murray is someone that I'm sure most tennis lovers definitely would love to watch because of what he's going through lately. Andy Murray has actually been impressive in court so far. I've been watching him, and it looks like despite the hips he underwent, he's actually back and playing one of the best top level tennis. Although he might not necessarily be able to replicate that top 4 form that he used to enjoy when he used to face the likes of Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, and Rafael Nadal. But coming against a player like Federico Del Bonis, I actually don't think that Federico can cause him a lot of problems because Del Bonis is actually not in the best of form. And I've watched Andy Murray play against the likes of Alexander Zverev and some of these Stefano Tsitsipas also in most of these Grand Slams, and he's actually gone down the wire. Sometimes he plays 5-setters, 4-setters, and Andy Murray looks like he's back in form, and I really see him getting a victory in this one against Federico Del Bonis.
Well, you talked about Naomi Osaka earlier on. The game between Naomi Osaka and her opponent, Ashley Nathman, is come and gone because Naomi Osaka has won 6-4, 6-4. An easy victory straight set victory for Naomi Osaka there.
Yeah, it's good to have her, get back to winning ways. I mean, Osaka has actually fallen when it comes to the rankings right now. She's actually been struggling, She has always been making headlines with that, the pressure, either complaining about things not going her way or maybe being heckled by a fan. But it's good that she's, winning this one. At least it's going to actually put off some pressure off her, because if she had lost this one, it's definitely going to put her back in the headlines, once again. So she's someone that I really love to watch and really want to see succeed. We all thought that she was actually even going to be maybe world number 2 or world number 3 right now. But she's actually not been playing a good tennis. She's actually been exiting tournament as quickly as possible, and you'll be wondering what's going wrong. But for her to get this win against Sharma,
he beat Emilio Nastra in straight sets there. What do you think? This is a tournament for young players. Of course, you know that this is a tournament where the big names don't really get to win. It is the younger players that seem to be winning these 1,000 events in the last few years.
Yeah, it's a good win for Hugo. I've watched him lately. It looks like, I remember in the Paris Masters or so, where he defeated the likes of Alcaraz in straight sets, and Alcaraz falling short in that one, and was almost moved to tears. So it's a good morale boosting victory for Hugo Gaston. He's actually a young lad playing and getting that win. Then I know that he looks like someone who can offer a whole lot when it comes to tennis. So for him to get this victory, hopefully he can continue in this run, because it's the tournament that's always full of surprises. Upsets are going to definitely come, and we're going to expect that very, very soon in this tournament. So it's a good win for him, and hopefully he can continue in fine form and that he has started with right now.
The Miami Open ongoing right now at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens. That's in the We'll take another break. When we return from the break, we'll get to football, because the Super Eagles of Nigeria are in the last section of training ahead of their trip to Kumasi, Ghana, where they will take on the Black Stars in a very important World Cup qualifier that I must say a lot of Nigerians are beginning to be apprehensive about. When we come back from the break, we'll let you know how easy it could be for either side in this World Cup qualifier.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing. Honourables, you human point of order. Honourables, you
in the last 12.2 seconds to turn the game around and take the win by a score of 94-90. We equally saw Chicago Bulls loss. It was Milwaukee Bucks beating them by 126 points to 98. Kelechi Gianni Adetokunbo back to his ways. He scored 25 rebounds and of course do recover 25 points and recovered with 17 rebounds. It looks like a double-double is back for Nigeria's Gianni Adetokunbo.
I like the fact that you call him Nigeria's Giannis Antetokounmpo. It was actually an impressive win for Milwaukee Bucks. It's a shame that he's not playing for Nigeria, but the Holiday combining for 52 points there, and it was actually a good win for them against the Bulls, who have actually fallen short in recent times. And it's actually a good victory for Bucks as they, climb up top and continue to.
continue to disappoint. Points to 115 points. Clippers playing in Los Angeles and losing at home again.
Yeah, it's one of those games that you expect Clippers to fall short because they're coming up against a Denver Nuggets side who's actually impressive. You know, they've been one of the most consistent side of late. Nikola Jokic scoring 30 points in that one. You know, he's actually, been impressive, and his teammate Gordon, also Cousins, back from injury as well, also delivering for them as well. So it was actually an impressive win for Denver Nuggets, and Clippers, continue to suffer defeat. Maybe they only show themselves when it comes to maybe their fellow neighbors, Los Angeles Lakers. When it comes to big games where it matters, they actually fall short. So Denver Nuggets continue to be impressive this season. Clippers also falling short there once again.
Okay, many thanks, Kelechi, for filling us in on that basketball story. And now we'll go to football proper, but we'll start on the local scene. And of course, the Nigeria Women Football League has been in results.
Well, match day 12 in the Nigeria Women Football League. Some twist and turn and in Group B, Angels, and that in turn was a very big blow for them because Royal Queens lost to Bayelsa Queens in one goal. It ended, and that means Bayelsa Queens has taken over to be top of Group A, and that's for the game between Royal Queens and Bayelsa Queens. For Pelican Stars, they continue losing games even at home and away. This time they lost to Oshu Babes, 2 goals. It ended in the game between Pelican Stars and Oshu Babes. For Conference Queen, they were able to do themselves some good as they got a 1-goal victory against Adamawa Queens. For Nasarawa Amazon against Edo Queens, that game seems to be the biggest game as far as match day 12 is concerned, because Nasarawa Amazon were second and they are still second, looking for a way to beat Edo Queens' perfect run, and so far they've done that. They got 2 goals against Edo Queens, pushing the gap closer and ensuring that they are suitable to play for the Super 6. What a way to wrap up match day 12 in the Nigeria Women's League.
Wow. Then Rivers Angels disappointing in Umuahia. They need to win. At least they needed a point in that one, but it looks like they just couldn't get it right. They played a draw, right?
It was a draw.
A draw, so they got a point, but 1 point was not enough. They needed the maximum point to continue to be on the lead, because before that one they had just 1 point lead on the table. Then what's happening to Rivers Angels? They've lost 2 straight games and now getting a draw, even instead of bouncing back straight away.
Well, for me, I think some things are not really going down well. But I think we also spoke with the media officer last week. She said they've been paid their match bonuses. That even the permanent secretary, Minister of Sports, Rivers State, was at their last match venue where they lost scandalously at home 3-1, and going away again to play a draw with Abia Angels, where they needed a win most. I think a lot of things needs to be done. Questions need to be asked, and crucial meeting has to be called so that everybody knows where and when to sit up.
Rivers Angels capitulating, but they still have some few more games to play to the end of the season. Meanwhile, we'll go to the biggest news, and it has to do with the fact that the Super Eagles of Nigeria all have the 25 invited players in camp. With the arrival of John Noble, the goalkeeper, now it is a full 25-man squad. The last training session is just being rounded up, and Kelechi, ahead of the encounter between Nigeria and Ghana, which comes up on Friday, the players are all in high spirit. What do you make of this fixture ahead of the qualifier for the World Cup?
Wilfred, it is actually going to be really hurtful for Nigeria. I really don't know how it's going to affect us. But aside that, everyone is back and everyone is in full strength, and everyone the morale is really high for this one. I was watching the video of the Nigerian players training, and it looks like they're in high spirit and ready to face off Ghana, who have actually not been the Ghana that we all used to know. We watched them in the African Nations Cup. They fell short. Failing to win any single game. It was really disappointing for them. And Nigerian side also progressing in that one tournament, although they fell short against Tunisia. But overall, if we want to compare both the the quality of players we have and that of Ghana, we actually want to give Nigeria, and hopefully that we can get something. When we play Ghana, we should ensure that we don't lose that at Ghana. And hopefully we can get the result that we need, because this Ghana are not in their best, and with Nigeria, with the quality that we have all over the pitch, I believe that Nigeria have the capacity to grind out the result at Ghana on Friday.
Edemko, Sports Minister Sunday Dare was in the training session earlier today to wish the boys well ahead of their trip to Ghana after this training session.
Well, that's enough motivation, and I heard some Nigerian billionaires are also putting up some motivational forces behind the team for them to get the goal. But I strongly believe that what we're going for in Baba Yara Stadium is more of a war. It's a soccer war where three things are at stake: national pride, bragging right, and most importantly, the World Cup ticket. So they'll definitely go all out. The Ghanaian national team, they have always had this thing whenever they're playing against a Nigerian team. A minister going along to wish them.
Let's see what atmosphere will be available at the Baba Yara Stadium. 40,000 fans will be there. Only 2,000 of the 40 will be Nigerians. That's what we've been told by the organizers of the competition. Talking about the organizers of the competition, Barine, we now know that FIFA and CAF officials are already in Kumasi, Ghana, to organize COVID-19 tests for the players that will be part of the action. And they've given a clean bill of health to Jordan Ayew, the Ghana strike player that was earlier ruled out of this fixture. Jordan, Ayew COVID-free?
Well, it's an important one for them, and it's a good story for the Ghanaian. Jordan Ayew free of COVID-19. We once talked about how their forward is going to suffer if, knowing that Jordan Ayew and his brother Adre Ayew was not going to participate. But now COVID-19.
Ghana are already in Kumasi waiting for their counterparts from Nigeria. The Super Eagles are expected to hit their imminent arrival in Kumasi, Ghana. But talking about the arrival of the team, Kelechi, in the past, we've seen that football associations often use COVID-19 to rule out big-name players in the squad. Do you see any politics coming up in the test that will be conducted as this team arrive? Because we've seen, we mentioned Jordan, you cleared of COVID. He was COVID negative. He's now been cleared COVID negative. He was positive before. Do you see any fear on the Nigerian side as they do arrive Kumasi any moment from now?
Well, I was really surprised that Jordan Ayew was cleared as quickly as possible. But I just don't want to, actually suspect any foul play or any form of give the right result, and maybe which there shouldn't be any politics or maybe trying to rule out any key player for any country and affect the game, because at this crucial stage, every country would want every of their players to be intact and be ready for this particular one. And so this is Africa. This is where there's a whole lot of corruption. There's a whole lot of foul play and malpractices going on here and there. But I just hope that there's going to be fairness when it comes to organizing the COVID test, like we all usually see in Europe, where there is a little or no corruption. So I just hope that I'm not going to suspect any of those malpractices or corruption in this particular one. But I really don't see it, because this is a CAF, and I hope that there's going to be integrity maintained in this one, because FIFA will also be involved. So hopefully there's going to be fairness when it comes to organizing this COVID test.
Well, COVID-19 test officials, like I mentioned to you, are already on ground in Kumasi, Ghana. They arrived earlier today, and of course they did test. And Jordan Ayew, one of the players that was positive in the past, has been declared negative, and he's ready to be part of the Black Stars of Ghana as they take on the Super Eagles in what looks like a crucial leg. They will have to play the first leg. Then by Tuesday next week, they will return for the second leg and to determine which of the two teams will be going to Qatar at the end of the year for the FIFA 2022 World Cup. And we hope, like you mentioned, there will be no foul play from these FIFA/CAF officials, doctors that will be involved in doing this routine test. We know that the players are coming from different parts of the world. They have done their test, and we hope this one they will do will match up with what they have done earlier. The Super Eagles of Nigeria, wishing them best of luck as they leave Lagos tonight, ahead to Kumasi, Ghana. Let's quickly go to Europe, because we're running out of time, and we'll see. We are told that the UK and Ireland have formally submitted the initial bid to host the 2028 European Championship on deadline day. 5 football associations comprising of England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, and the Republic of Ireland confirmed that an expression of interest has been filed, which has received the support from the UK government. All of this has to do with the fact that Russia interest declaring in the 2028, 2008, 28, and of course 2032 interest, in spite of what is happening alongside their country now. I'm very sure nobody will want to listen to Russia's bid in this instance. Quite a lot happening across Europe there, and we hope that UEFA will do what is right, and of course do properly exclude Russia in this instance. We are told they are due to confirm the bidders on the Edemko. He's the only player playing straight. He plays for, I think, Enyiba International of Aba. He's the only player that is based in Nigeria that's in that squad.
Well, for me, I strongly believe that it's high time the home-based player made a statement of claim for the national team. Although Genetro tried it in the past, but they didn't live up to expectation. Around the match venues, we have a very wonderful league that is running according to plan this season. So they can also key in and buy into that project of the Nigerian Football League. They just need to. We have some exciting young players in the league that could serve as good materials for the Super Eagles also.
Super Eagles of Nigeria, John Noble, is the only one based in Nigeria. The rest of the 24 are coming from outside of the Nigerian Professional Football League. What do you think, Ebony?
Well, I think it's a good one for him. At first, he was not called, but due to what happened to Maduka Okoye injury, and he was called, and he hurriedly made his way to the camp of the Super Eagles. It's a good one for him, and I hope that this will motivate him to ensure that he fights for his rights in Eyimba, because some people said he has not been playing, he has not been the number one for Eyimba. So maybe this might just make him fight his way through to be number one goalkeeper for Eyimba, and he might have his chance in the national team.
Well, Kelechi, I don't know what you think. John Noble, the only player from the home-based players in the squad. Do you think he might just at any stage be part of this fixture?
Looks like he's going to not just be included, but maybe actually start this particular game because of the absence of Okoye, and it's actually good for him. It just tells you that maybe they're not looking outside; they're looking inward, because Nigeria have a couple of good talents, and John Noble has actually been a good goalkeeper. Although like Barney said, he has not actually been a regular for Eyimba recently. But this can actually be good for his confidence. Hopefully he starts against Ghana, because I actually see potential in John Noble. It looks like it's actually good that we have a goalkeeper that is actually a home-based goalkeeper playing in this one.
Nigerian John Noble, based in Nigeria, playing for Eyimba International. Not be much in action in the Nigerian league, but be invited to the Super Eagles camp. Austin Eguavon and of course his team of technical crew have a choice to make there for John Noble. If he does start in Ghana, that will be a very big one. But all of that is for Austin Eguavon to decide. But for me here, it's time to wrap it up on Sports Extraordinary. Many thanks for you, Kelechi, and of course Demko, and of course Baine, for being part of the show. And you television network. Then if you're on Instagram, interaction with us continues at Atlantic Television Network. Until we'll get back to you again tomorrow. Definitely remember that peace and unity are the